5 steps to buy your first commercial property. In this video, I'm going to take you from where you are now into buying and owning your first commercial property. But my question is, where are you now? Where are you today? Can you relate to this? Is this you? You always wanted to buy commercial property, but you're not sure where to begin, how to begin? This video is for you, so check it out. Number 2, maybe this is you. You can see commercial as a way to build your life financially over time. Or can you relate to number 3? You see your job as not the way for or to financial independence. Or number 4, you want to leave a legacy of wealth to your family, to your loved ones. Or how about number 5? Is this you? You need to make up financially because of losses or lost time, or you're just getting older and you need something to set up your retirement. Or how about number 6, right? You eventually see yourself as being a full-time commercial real estate investor. If you can relate to any of this, here are the 5 steps to buy your first commercial property. Let's get started. Let's get started right here with step number 1. But before I get started, if you have any questions during this video, go ahead and text Peter to 833-942-4516 and we'll get right back to you, okay? Any question you like about how to get started, any question on the number of steps I have here, any question whatsoever, just send it in. We'd love to hear from you. All right, let's get started with step number 1, which is determine your property type and area. That is step number 1 when wanting to buy your first commercial property. And I'll make it easy for you. I am going to choose for you, from my 20 years of experience, the property type that you should focus on initially, okay? All right, and there are these 3. These are the top 3 that I would like you to consider. Multifamily, self-storage, and mobile home parks. And why is that? Because there's positive demand versus supply. So in these 3 asset types, especially multifamily mobile home parks, the supply isn't going up faster as the demand, all right? So they're not building any more brand new mobile home parks. We can't build enough multifamilies to satisfy the needs in our country. We're between 4 and 7 million housing units short in this country, and it's getting larger, okay? All right, and next is these 3, in my opinion, from our experiences, they have the best cash flow. So if you're looking to develop consistent cash flow, build wealth over time, these 3 are the best way to go. And let's face it, multifamily, storage, and mobile home parks are the easiest to understand. They really are. And we have plenty of training on our YouTube channel concerning these 3 asset types, so check them out, all right? And lastly, plentiful, okay? There's lots of multifamily, self-storage, and mobile home parks to choose from, as opposed to shopping centers or office buildings, which we don't recommend at this moment, okay? So those are the top 3. How about the area? Here's what I want you to do for your first property. This is the beginner, okay? I want you to start local, within a 2-hour drive from your home. Here's the reason why, okay? It's less risky because you can actually go there and hug the property and check it out for yourself. If the property manager is doing something or tenants are misbehaving, you can go there that day or on the weekend and see what's happening. That is so important, okay? You're also, because if you're local, you're familiar with the demographics, okay? If you go out of state in some unknown town, you're not sure who's there. What's the tenant type? What's the tenant profile? You don't know because you're not familiar with it. You don't know the area and what's happening, crime and so forth, okay? So you're familiar with demographics, and also you need to be able to visit regularly, okay? You really do when you buy a commercial property. Some of you know 9 out of 10 property managers are not any good. That's a company stat, and I'm sure many other investors will agree with that. So you need to be able to hold your property manager accountable. How do you do that? You have to visit. There is no shortcut around it. All right, also, another reason why I want you to start local, because it is not advisable, okay, for a beginner to buy their first commercial property out of state. It is not. Okay, if you're a beginner, I wouldn't do it. I would start local. Okay, unless you have our help. Okay, for myself and our other coaches and a lot of our students, their first deal was bought out of state, but they had a lot of counsel from us, a lot of training from us of how to hold their property manager accountable for the money part, for the management part, for the maintenance part, and for the marketing part. Okay, those 4 M's are so critical. The average person has no clue of how to hold a remote property manager accountable, and they end up having a disastrous deal. So there's lots of experience and things you have to do there to hold everything accountable. So that's why you can go out of state, but you need our help. But my recommendation is to start local. Okay? All right. So that's step number 1 of property type and where to go. Let's go to step number 2. Here we are with step number 2. Step number 2 is to search and evaluate. Okay? You need to know how and where to search for your commercial property. And then secondly, once you find one, how to evaluate it. Okay? Very important. Let me go over this with you. All right. So when you search for your property, there are basically 2 ways for you as a beginner. The first way is to search for properties that are on market. Okay, you can go to websites such as LoopNet. Okay, you can go to a website called Crexy, or you can just contact brokers. Those are deals that are already on the market. Okay, they're easy to find. All right, and but guess what? These are going to be the highest price deals, and because they're being sold by a real estate agent, and real estate agent, his job is to maximize the price, not to give you the lowest price. So when he does that, it kind of kills the cash flow and it kills the upside. Okay, but it's a good start. It's a good way to learn and get started in the business by going to these websites. Okay, so good to learn from. The other key thing is when you search for properties on market, is you're going to be able to establish relationships with agents, with brokers, and things like that. And you always hear me say this, that commercial real estate, okay, all different types, it is a relationship-based business, okay? So the more relationships you nurture, the better you're going to be, okay? It's hands down a relationship-based business. You need to honor those relationships, okay? All right, now the second way to search for a deal is to search off market, okay? These are deals that are not found on any of these websites. So you can do that by going direct to the sellers, and this is what we do at Commercial Property Advisors. I believe we are the best at it, okay? This is what we do. That's our niche, okay? And as a result, this is by far, by going direct to the property owner, this is where the best deals are. You can look on the screen here. These are all 3 videos of students that found their properties off market, and these deals were good enough for them to be on our YouTube channel, okay? And because they're off market, there's room to negotiate, and a lot of times the sellers really don't know what their property is worth or could be sold for, so you're getting the highest potential in terms of being able to raise your rents and raise the value by going direct, okay? And lastly, you get unlimited creativity when you go direct to the seller because there's no middleman, there's no agent in the middle blocking you. So when you're talking and conversing directly with the seller, when you have a motivated seller and you have a motivated buyer, beautiful things can happen. We've done a ton of those creative deals in our company with our students, okay? All right. So that was search. Let's go to evaluate. And I know a lot of you are maybe intimidated by evaluating commercial real estate. I'm going to make it really easy for you, okay? When you evaluate, you need to learn the basics. The basics are learning how to calculate cash flow, learning how to calculate the cash on cash return or the ROI, and learning how to calculate the cap rate. Those are the key metrics in terms of deciding if your deal is a good deal or bad deal, okay? And I have this 5-minute video for you. It's called 3 Simple Steps to Evaluating Multifamily in 5 minutes. Okay, I break down the entire deal for you in 5 minutes and show you how to do the evaluation. You can't go wrong with that video. You implement that in the video. By the deals that you're finding here, you're going to know if this deal is something you should go for or pass on. Okay? All right. And for some of you that really want to, you can see yourself doing this business and you want to take a deeper dive into commercial real estate evaluation, I have a book, Commercial Real Estate for Beginners. The link will appear right on the screen. It's free. You can download it and read. Go specifically to the evaluation part where I break down deals for you. And you can see all the numbers, you can see all the calculations, everything is there. So go for it and check it out. All right, so that was step number 2, learning how to search and evaluate. Let's go to step number 3. Here we are with step number 3. Step number 3 is the exciting part. Well, all the steps are exciting, but this is my favorite part. This is when you get to make the offer. So you got over the hump, you're now brave and you're ready to jump in with an offer. Okay, let's go over that. Okay, step 3, make the offer. When making an offer on your first commercial property, you're going to use 2 forms, one of 2 forms. You can use what we call a letter of intent. All right, a letter of intent is just a single piece of paper where you put your name and your offer on a piece of paper. It is not a contract. It is not legally binding. You're just putting in front of the owner how you think you want to buy it. Okay, so it's just a meeting of the minds to put the basic terms on the table, and it's really not a legal offer. It's just a way to get your buying terms on the table with the seller, right? And then once the seller and you go, okay, I like those terms, and then you can go into a formal contract. Okay, so letter of intent could be the first way, but my favorite way, because I don't want to mess around once I have a good deal, is to go straight into a contract. Okay, this is legally binding. Okay, you want to go to a contract. So the letter of intent is, if you're not sure about the deal, if you just want to feel the seller out, use a letter of intent. But if you like the deal and you don't want it to escape out of your hands and you want to buy it, you go straight into a contract. Got it? Okay. All right. Now, when you make the offer, you have to be very strategic. This is very important because you're about to enter into a legal agreement. Okay? And here are the 5 most important parts of a commercial contract when you make the offer. Now, if you are missing one of these pieces, if you're working with an agent or using your own contract and you're missing one of these 5 pieces, you're in trouble or potentially in trouble. Okay, so do not make an offer, right, on any commercial property unless you have these 5 things in your contract. Let me quickly tell you what they are and how to protect you with them. Okay, first is price, of course. You have your small deposit, they call their earnest money deposit. You have your inspection period, how long it's take you to inspect your property. Then you have your finance. Okay, you have how you're going to finance it. Is it all cash? Or are you going to go to bank? And then you have the close date. So these are the 5 things you need to have in a contract. If you're missing any of these, you have an incomplete offer. Okay, so don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Hear me? All right. Okay, now probably the most important thing about this step number 3 are the 4 contingencies that go into your offer. Contingencies are defined as this, is I will make the offer and go through it contingent upon this happening. Or I will make the offer and you let me do this first in order for me to feel satisfied so I can move forward. Okay, that's what the contingency. So this offer is contingent upon something happening or something you doing. Okay, here are the 4 contingencies I want you to have in your contract. And if you are without them, you are at risk. Okay, all right. So if you're working with an agent and one of these are missing, or you're working with someone else, one of those is missing, go ahead and add it. Okay, all right. First of all, you need to have an inspection contingency. Basically, you need to give yourself 30 days. Okay, 30 business days. In fact, that's what we do in our company here. 30 business days to inspect the property. Check out everything. Check out do your inspection, walk through every single piece of the property, to look at the financials, to do your research on the competition, all of that stuff. You get 30 days to get a roofer up there, plumber, electrician, 30 days to check out everything, okay? All right, and then you need to give yourself a finance contingency, basically giving yourself, again, 30 days to find the best loan for your property. And as you know, today the interest rates are a bit higher, so it's tougher to get a property qualified because of the high interest rates, so you need more time. So a good loan is out there, you just need time, and you need 30 business days, all right? So if a agent or a seller says, I'll only give you 7 days, you're not gonna be able to find a loan in 7 days. It's just not gonna happen, right? Same thing with your inspection contingency. They want to give you 7 days, and it's not gonna happen. You can't inspect a commercial property in 7 days. It's impossible, okay? All right, next is you need a title contingency, okay? The title of a property has whoever the owner is, and also if there's any liens on the property. So let's say the current owner got into a fight with the plumber and the plumber sued him and there's a lawsuit on the property. You need to make sure you give yourself time to search the title and you get the title free and clear so you can purchase it, okay? And then the fourth contingency is often missing. And I don't know why it's missing, but in our company it's not missing, but in the majority of broker contracts or other contracts, the appraisal contingency is missing. You need to add an appraisal contingency. Basically, that says if you have your property under contract for $1 million, the appraisal contingency said it must appraise for $1 million or more in order for me to move forward. And if it comes in under $1 million, you have the ability to back off. All right, same thing with your inspection, finance, and title. It gives you the ability to say if you find something you don't like on the property, hole in the roof or some issues, you can back out and get your earnest money back. Or you can't get a loan and you get your earnest money back. Or you find a lawsuit on the title and it scares you, you can get out, okay? Same thing with the appraisal. So make sure you add that to the contract, all right? I have a video here, the link will appear on the screen. It's called How to Make an Offer on Commercial Property. Okay, where I break it down in like 20 minutes. Okay, it's a long video, but it's very, very thorough. And if you use this video, you're going to be making some pretty good offers. My last note to you, and many of you are wondering, and you have so much trepidation when making offers, especially multiple offers on multiple properties, is just because you have a property under contract, it doesn't mean you're going to buy it. Okay, it doesn't mean it. All right, so basically what happens, you get a property under contract, day one, you're jumping into inspection, right? And you're gonna find some things on the property that you don't like. Let's say you say, Mr. Seller, I want you to fix the sidewalk, or I want you to replace this air conditioner, and it's very expensive. And the seller says, no, I'm doing nothing. That happens a lot. So that means you either have to pay it for yourself or you cancel the deal. Again, that happens a lot. So just because you have a property under contract, there's a high likelihood that you're not going to buy it because of your thorough due diligence, okay? Which is actually one of the steps we're going to talk about, all right? Okay, that is step number 3. Let's go to another fun step, and really, really critical, is step 4. Let's do that next. Here we are with step number 4, which is due diligence. Here's due diligence in a nutshell. If you were to go out and buy a used car, you're going to open up the hood, you're going to check the engine out, you're going to start the engine, you're going to rev the engine, you're going to listen for any noises in the engine, then you're going to drive around the parking lot or drive on the freeway and make sure it's sturdy. You're going to check the tires, you're going to check the transmission, you're going to check all the electric components on the car. You're going to have specialists come out and just check the car and make sure there's nothing wrong with it. The same thing applies when you buy a commercial property. You have to open up the hood. You have to check everything out, okay? So due diligence is basically doing your homework on the property. And why is this so critical? Is because there's a Latin term called caveat emptor. It means buyer beware. Let me explain. When you purchase a home, okay, a residential property with an agent, you're going to get a packet of papers of disclosures, what's been fixed on the property, what existing problems exist on the property, what's been done, in anything that impedes the title. So anything wrong or right about the property, any additional features that you may not be aware of, there'll be a long list of forms that you're going to get from the seller. These are called legal property disclosures, so they have to give it to you, okay? In commercial real estate, we have no such thing, okay? So it is buyer beware. It is caveat emptor. So basically, the seller of the commercial property could totally lie to you about what's wrong with the property, and you end up buying it and finding out later there's nothing you can do. So that's why we have this step 4 is dedicated to that, because it is so important. And as a mentor, my responsibility is to tell you this, okay? So this is a big boy business, and you need to have big boy knowledge on checking everything out, okay? So it's critical, because the caveat emptor, the 3 parts of your due diligence, and our student base, when they get a property under contract, we have an extensive list, okay, of due diligence items for them to check out and report back to us to see if this deal is worth going after or not. So after this 30-day period, going through this long list, we know all the issues on the property. I call them elephants under the carpet. Okay, we need to know everything. All right, so the 3 parts are physical, financial, and legal. So we have checklists for all 3. So we have physical, financial, and legal, the 3 parts, and it takes time. Okay, remember, caveat emptor, give yourself a minimum of 30 business days. Okay, when you purchase a house, they give you what, 7 days to inspect your residential property. When you buy a commercial property, it's going to be, and it needs to be, 30 business days. You need a whole month and more to look at everything, to do it well. Understood? Okay, and I have a video here. It's called 6 Tips on Due Diligence for Commercial Real Estate. The link will appear. Go ahead and watch it. It's a long video of me breaking everything down, these 3 parts, physical, financial, legal, breaking everything down. You watch that video and you're going to do a very, very good job on due diligence on your first commercial deal. All right, okay, that was step number 4. Let's go to the last step, which is step number 5. Here we are with step number 5. Step number 5 is monumental. It is to fund and close your deal. This is the big day. All right, now, when you fund your deal, there are 3 main ways you're going to fund your deal. Okay, getting your deal financed. Number 1 is, if you have the down payment yourself, you're going to go to a bank, a local bank, and get a loan from a bank. Funding method number 2 is creative or seller financing. This is my favorite part, okay? Let me give you a situation that when you go direct to property owners, just like we do, here's what you're going to run into, okay? A handful of sellers that you go to direct, their property or themselves would not be bankable. Here's what I mean. They may have 0 financial documentation on their property, making it impossible for you to get a loan. Or they may have lots of vacancy on their property. Again, you can't get a loan, right? Or they may have a lot of repairs needed on their property and you can't get a loan. So if you're facing any one of those 3, it's going to be really difficult to get a loan in your property. So what you're going to have to do is do something creative, especially if the seller is motivated, the numbers look great, you like the area, and you think it's a really, really good deal, but you have those 3 obstacles and you can't go get a conventional loan. You're going to have to resort to something creative or just do a form of seller financing. And this is our specialty. That's my favorite part and my favorite way to teach students how to do deals just like that. All right. So if you go to our YouTube channel, you start looking at the titles, you'll see seller financing, master lease agreement, no money down, things like that. So go for it and check out our channel. You can see all the stuff that we do to help our students, okay? And then the third way to fund your deal is through syndication. Syndication means the pooling of money together for your deal with investors, okay? So you're gonna get investors. I have a link right here because this is such a legal topic, and I have a great video that breaks it down very simply for you how to do it, all right? So if you have Maybe under creative financing, let's say that you don't have your down payment. You could do something creative, or you could syndicate the deal, all right? And you can use investor money to fund your deal, okay? We do all three in our company. So that's funding. Now, here's a little bit on the closing. When you get to the closing day, you won't be able to sleep the night before. Guarantee it, because you're so excited, and this is, your best is yet to come. Once you close your deal, and that's when the real work begins. And we meet with all of our students on a monthly basis once they close the deal. We don't let them go off to the sunset. We are responsible mentors, and we show them how to maximize the performance of the property, okay? You have to do that. All right, next, actually the closing day is actually the easiest part of the entire process of buying your first property, okay? So if you get here, and when you get here, it's huge, all right? And lastly, our company, we have a deal closing hotline for our students. So when a student has any issues sitting at the closing table, the day before they have an issue, title pops up, seller misbehaves, we are right there for them, and they can speak to one of us to get your deal to closing. All right, okay, so there you go. Those are the 5 steps. Step number 1 is determine the property type and area. Step number 2 is to search and evaluate. Step 3, make the offer. Step 4, due diligence. And step 5 right here, fund and close. You have any questions or you need help on any of these steps, go ahead and text Peter to 833-942-4516 and we'll help you out. Send us any questions you have and we'll be right there and get back to you. So if you like this video, go ahead and click the like button. It encourages us to put more content out there. If you want to receive more videos like this on a continual basis, I try to do this every week just for you. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel and we'll send it right over to you. If you'd like to see how our students use these 5 steps to buy their commercial deal, you can be mentored by us. So the link will appear right on the screen. Go ahead and apply and then check us out. All right, everyone. Thank you so much and hope you have a great day, and we'll see you at the next video.